Girl vs. Girl podcast. I'm Melissa.
I'm Kylie. And today we're doing things we wish we knew before getting married and also mixing in a little bit of advice for getting married young.
Yeah, are we going to tell on ourselves?
Well, yeah, because...
I mean, if you actually, care about our podcast enough to, keep up on things...
We didn't post last week.
Which is 2% of people probably.
Yeah.
You'll know what's going on. But if not... You probably don't know what's going on.
Yeah. We didn't post last week because we recorded 2 episodes, actually, which is double unfortunate. Sorry, I don't have a napkin for you.
That's fine.
We recorded 2 episodes last week, which is double unfortunate because the recording was lost 20 minutes in. And then we thought we had it on the mics, recorded on the mics. And then we were like, okay, we'll just post audio, which we've never done before, but we're like, okay, we'll just post audio because we have the mics recording. And then that ended up getting messed up too. And I think we could have saved it, but honestly, I think it would have been
it would not have been worth it.
It would not have been worth it. And I can't do it. Chris has to do it. And it's definitely not worth it for him.
Yeah, no. Especially when, he has a real job.
Yeah.
That is that stuff, but
yeah.
Not that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's already so busy.
And also, we're just here for fun. This is just our silly little podcast. It's not worth 6 hours of work.
No. So, we're re-recording, but I think it's kind of good that we didn't just try and re-record right after, because I feel like we'll have new thoughts, and I think that this one will be better. Last week when we were recording, it was...
Yeah, we talked about, we just keep rambling.
It was kind of a mess anyways.
Yeah,
we didn't have notes. We didn't...
No.
Yeah.
We weren't prepared anyway, so it's kind of like a blessing in disguise because I feel like it wouldn't have been the best episodes.
No, it probably would have been the 2 worst episodes that we did anyways.
And I feel like we've been verbal vomiting, so we're going to try and be a little bit more concise and have, slightly shorter episodes.
But also we'll still yip the yap.
Yeah.
So don't worry. But, yeah.
Okay.
Should we get into it, or do you have any life updates you really want to tell?
I feel like we have to do some sort of life update. Oh, the camping trip.
Oh, yeah. Give them the lowdown on the camping trip. We didn't end up going.
Yeah, spoiler. Kylie bailed on us. Yeah. But that's fine because you're going to go to the next one.
Maybe. You never send me the place.
I know. I need to send that to you.
Don't
let me forget.
Okay.
Jake knows all the information.
Okay.
So we'll tell you, or have him tell Chris or whatever. And you should rent an RV or a yurt or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. We went on the camping trip. It was not the tragedy that Kylie thought it was going to be. She really had me freaking out. I honestly feel really guilty saying this because I just did not expect this good from Booker. Spoiler, it was really good.
Yeah.
I just did not expect him to be, I never in a million years thought that he could be this good given the circumstances. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. But I was just so... I feel
all of the main things were checked off. He slept good, he ate good, he...
I feel so bad saying this, but I don't want to, lie to make myself sound like a better mom. It's not like I was so proud of him. I was so impressed. No, I was shocked.
Yeah, no, I think that's normal.
I was kid, you're capable of this? Because I didn't think you were.
Yeah. I think that's normal. I think that's what probably most moms...
Yeah, not give your kid enough credit.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time.
I majorly did not give him enough credit. So basically, it was a 3-hour drive, or is it 3.5?
It's not 3.5. I'd say it's 2.5. 2.5
to 3-ish.
Yeah.
We did not have to stop one single time on the way there or the way back. Let's just say it's 2.5 hours. He slept his nap that he was supposed to nap. We got to we got maybe 30 minutes into the drive. Yeah, because I think he was supposed to sleep for an hour. His last nap is normally an hour, but I was going to let him sleep for an hour and a half just to get us, the majority of the way there.
Could, yeah.
Yeah, he'll go to bed at 10 or if we had to. I just want him to sleep. And about 25 minutes in, he woke up. And I was Snapchatting Kylie.
Turn the car around.
I was turn the car around. We're going back home.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I was Snapchatting Kylie. I was panicking. I'm what do I do?
Yeah.
This is horrible. And so Jake and I just stayed in the front seat and we just didn't say anything. We just were quiet, waiting to see if he'd go back to sleep. And then I hear, it's pretty quiet back there. Oh, you want to know why he woke up? The sound machine died.
Which then you Snapchatted me and you're It's the one you gave us literally before we had Booker. And of course the batteries would die on it now. And I'm thinking, yeah, of course they would. And also I was thinking, literally, if you've had the sound machine for 10 months, wouldn't you change the batteries before the, like, number one time that you're going to need them?
You gave it to me with batteries.
I know.
And I've not touched them. I didn't even know how to open it.
You should have thought that should be on my camping list of making sure that this thing doesn't die. We're going to be using it for 2 hours straight in the car.
But it's because I don't have to charge it. It's batteries, so I just don't think about it.
Yeah, no, that makes
I think
sense.
that it's just, like, an infinite amount of, like, I don't know how long batteries last.
I know, yeah.
I should feel like I should take these shoes off. I'm gonna like sweat myself tan around my new shoes.
Oh, I think they're cute though.
I just
thought
about that. My socks are kind of cute. They got frillies.
I know your socks are cute. Your whole outfit's cute.
Thank you.
Do you like how I'm in something different than
what
I was in earlier? It's because I was crying.
I wasn't gonna. Yeah, I was like, nah, I wasn't gonna point it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he woke up 25 minutes in, and it like dawns on me that the freaking sound machine's off, and I'm like, literally. Die. Like, I want to jump out of this window right now. Like, I'm so irritated. And so, thank God, my car has this, it's called quiet mode, to where it, like, focuses the sound where I want it, and, like, basically, like, is, like, we could play music in the front seat, and you wouldn't be able to hear it kind of thing, but it, like, works both ways. I don't even know how to explain it. I just know that I press a button and it does what I want it to do, because Jake programmed it that way. Anyway, so we just had to put white noise on our phone that was like hooked up to the car and just throw it in the back.
That's good that worked, because I don't feel like that would even work for Coast. He'd be like, I need the right
right, like, oh no, I've spent hours trying to find the perfect white noise
on your phone,
on my phone that matches the car machine, that matches the room machine, that matches the travel machine, because it has to be the right white noise. Does it actually? Probably not. Am I gonna make sure that it is? Yeah. So, and normally if this white noise goes off, it's all over. And I knew that. So I was like, so I put it on. And
then he has napped too. So it's like, he's checked it off in his brain.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's not like he slept for 10 minutes. Like he slept for almost half his nap.
Yeah.
So then he stays awake for 30 minutes. And Jake and I are like, oh, I mean, Jake's chilling, obviously. And I'm like freaking out. He's just snacking on his snacks. And I'm like, he's not asleep.
Yeah.
He's not asleep.
Getting hives.
Yeah. I literally had to like move the monitor because I'm like, I can't even watch it.
Oh, yeah.
And so then about 30 minutes goes by and he starts getting heavy eyes. And I'm like, no freaking way. Ended up being best case scenario because he was like in that mode of like, I'm not tired enough to fall asleep, but I'm like awake enough, but not enough to like play.
Yeah.
So he just kind of was like just looking around, looking out the window, played with his giraffe a little bit, but it kind of was just like drowsy.
Yeah.
For 30 minutes. So he didn't make a peep. He just sat back there like a perfect little
angel.
Hour in. Then we're an hour in, and then he falls asleep and sleeps the rest of the way.
Nice.
I'm like, praise God. So that was ideal. Day one, he took both of his naps in the car, and he will really only sleep normally like for an hour in the car. So he took 2 1-hour naps, which isn't the best, but that's what I planned for. And he did perfectly fine because we were out and about doing stuff. We went to Ocean World, went to the chart room, had lunch. He had fish, loved it. Like, it went really well. Didn't go that well for me at the chart room.
Didn't what?
Go that well for me at the chart room.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
I don't even care if this is gross. I was on my period. Literally started the day before we left. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't know if y'all have had a postpartum period lately, but it's brutal.
What is up with that? I think I'm about to start mine because I'm cramping really bad. And I never had period cramps at all before I was pregnant. Like maybe once every other month there'd be like an hour of one of the days that I'd be like, oh, I'm kind of not feeling my best, you know?
Yeah.
But like that was it. Now I understand why people call out of work.
Yeah,
because it's literally that really bad. It's like you're in the fetal position, like with a heat pack wrapped all the way around.
You're like dropped to the floor.
So bad. Yeah. Like you almost are like gonna throw up because it hurts that bad. That's how it is for me now.
That's how it was for me before, and I would like hardly ever bleed, and now it's opposite. I don't really get cramps that bad, but I'm like so heavy.
Well, I have both now.
Yeah, you kind of got the short end of the stick on that one.
But I had it fine before. Like I had it easy before.
Yeah. Well, you also had a semi unproblematic pregnancy, so
that's true.
It doesn't make me feel that bad for you, but I do feel bad for you because it does suck.
It's fine. Just hopefully it's not like this for the freaking rest of my life.
Yeah.
I hope
Well,
it's
then
just
you'll
like...
get pregnant again, and then it'll be all different again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That would make it so much easier.
Yeah. Well, I'm really heavy now.
Yeah.
And I was wearing the cutest freaking outfit. I did not have a long shirt on, BT dubs. I did have semi-light pants.
What'd you even do? Because you told me that this happened, but you didn't actually,
I didn't give you the details.
Yeah.
Kylie. It was so bad. I was literally in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, I want to say. Like,
so you like bled through noticeably onto your pants.
yeah.
Like someone would have noticed.
Yeah. It
That's
was
never
so
happened
bad.
to me.
It's never happened to me either. And when I came out of the bathroom, there was a line of like 7 women waiting. And I was like, I'll tell you why, but I was loud in there. And like, they probably thought that I was like
Dying.
Like,
Wait, why were you loud?
okay. So
Yeah, give us the quick lowdown.
I like I'm like, Jake takes Booker to the car to like change him whatever in the middle of lunch. And I'm thinking, it's feeling a little damp down there. Like,
stand up and there's a
getting
puddle on the
concerning.
bench.
No, literally. And I stood up and I go, I should look and see if I bled through. I look on the chair. There's nothing. And I'm like, okay,
Thank
well,
God.
let me just go to the bathroom with a tampon and like go see. I literally pull down my pants and my underwear and I look down and I go, it looks like a murder scene. And I'm like, what the frick do I do?
Yeah.
We are, mind you, 30 to 40 minutes away from the trailer, like the campsite.
You don't have extra pants
I
or
don't have
anything,
extra
right?
pants.
Yeah, who keeps extra pants?
Yeah,
You might
I'm
have
like,
an extra pair of underwear, maybe.
No, because I normally don't wear underwear either.
Well, thank God you were.
Yeah. So I'm like, holy crap. And of course I'm wearing like nude underwear. So I'm like, well, these are ruined. So I literally I'm sitting on the toilet, just gushing blood into the toilet at this point. And I haven't changed my tampon. I like have to untie my shoes. I'm wearing like,
Yeah, you're like, where are the emergency scissors?
yeah,
Let me
literally
cut these things off.
No, literally, I was like, someone help. I'm like untying my shoes. And I'm like trying to take my pants off without getting them like on the ground because the ground was obviously not the cleanest. And I'm holding my pants. I'm trying to get my underwear off, and I have to throw my underwear
Without dragging your bloody underwear down your leg.
No, literally, I'm like holding them like this. I'm like, please don't drip, and I throw them away. So at this point, I'm like walking around in this bathroom naked, no pants on, no shoes,
no underwear.
no underwear. I'm literally naked from the waist down. I just have a shirt and socks, and that's it.
And that's when you're like, did I lock the door?
Yeah. And I'm like, I literally have a panic. I'm like, what do I do? And so then I literally, Kylie, had to take my pants and put them under this, like the faucet.
Oh my gosh, you washed them.
I had to wash them with soap.
Without underwear on.
Paper towels. Yeah. I'm just leaning over the sink, just butt ass naked, washing my pants.
Thank goodness it was like a single stall.
Could you imagine?
What would you have done?
I don't know. Got out naked?
You would have had you would have had to like have Jake take his sweatshirt off, or like your dad and tie it
I didn't
around
even
your
have my
waist.
phone.
Well, you would have had to just go back out and.
It was so
well, you
bad.
would have had to.
I would have had to. Yeah, it was so bad. So I'm like washing my pants.
You didn't even have your phone.
I didn't even have my phone. I'm like, help! Someone noticed I've been gone for 20 minutes and come knock on the door.
But also, please don't.
No, because if my mom would have noticed and came and knocked on the door, I'd have been like, thank God, what do I do?
Yeah.
Nope, nobody noticed that I was gone for 25 minutes in the bathroom, but okay. And I'm like washing my pants. I'm like, okay, this is gonna work. It gets like light enough. Thank God I'm wearing camo pants.
Oh, good.
So I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad, but it was up my butt. Like when I walked to the bathroom, you know that anyone looked at my butt was like, whew, she just bled through everywhere. It was bad.
That's so embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. It's so gross. No, literally. And so I'm like, okay, this is good enough for me to go sit at the table. And I thought.
And you had already gone to Ocean World.
We'd already gone to Ocean World.
Okay.
Like we were going to eat and go home.
Yeah.
Spoiler, we ended up going to the beach after.
With wet pants.
With wet pants. But I was like, at this point,
it is
I don't care. I'm never going to see any of these people again. And I went and got really cute photos with my son. And they were probably the prettiest pictures of the entire trip.
Slay.
Yeah. So then there's no freaking. The one time I remember thinking to myself, the one time they don't have those horrid like air hand dryers.
Yeah.
I'm like, for real? It's just paper towels.
Yeah.
So I like dry them off
You have
the
like
best
the
I can.
lint of the paper towels like getting stuck to it because it's one ply paper towel.
Literally. And so then I'm like, what did I did some, I like looked down at my shoe and there was like a spot of blood on my shoe. And I was like, so I had to like clean my shoe, right? So I put my pants on, I put my shoes back on. I flushed the toilet, like I like washing my hands or whatever. And so then it has like one of those like really tall, like rectangular trash cans. You know what I'm talking about? Like a bathroom one that's like, if you put any amount of pressure on the corner of that thing, it's toppling over, right? My smart ass puts my foot up on the top of the trash can to clean it, and I slip, and my foot goes into the trash, and I like almost fall to the ground. I like caught myself on the sink, but the trash obviously like tumbled over.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, my bloody underwear is on the ground. I'm like, I gotta pick all this up now. That's what was so loud.
Oh,
and I'm like,
gosh.
I'm like, okay, I'm okay. And then I'm like breathing. It's so heavy. I come out the door and there's like 7 women waiting.
Yeah, you're like sweating and shaking probably.
The minute I open the door, they all go like this.
Like, let's see if there's anyone else in there.
I'm like, I'm good. I really wanted to be like, I wouldn't go in there if I were you. Just to be fun. Like, that sucker needs air out for 10 minutes.
When we saw you guys at Trader Joe's today, we like pulled up and I was like, that's Melissa's car. And I know it's your car because you have that sunshade in your window and you have the like Wine Valley plates.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, that's
my
Melissa's
rich girl
car.
plates.
And so we are like walking in and I'm like, I so badly want to say something like so cringy and dumb like to them when we see them like in some weird voice. Excuse me, can you get out of the way or something like,
can I touch your child?
Yeah, like something super weird. And I didn't, but
Jake had a little bit of a panic attack when you touched him because he thought that it was
yeah, he said
and he was
that.
like, what would I have even done? I'm like, I don't know.
He's like,
and I don't know why when I saw you I literally went like this. I was like, I like looked you up and down. I'm like, why did I do that?
Processing, scanning,
literally. Yeah, so that was my horror story at the chart room.
Yeah, that sounds
and did I attempt to hide my underwear at the top of the trash? No. At that point,
just put them in there.
Couldn't have cared less.
She's like, and on top my bloody underwear.
Literally.
And to finish it off,
the cherry on top.
Yeah.
So that was my pit of the trip. Actually, the pit of my trip was not that day. The pit of my trip was the last day.
Yeah.
I had a little Menti bee.
Okay, we have those every day.
A Starbucks drink. But it wasn't over a Starbucks drink, and we all know that it was everything else that led up to it for the last 16 hours.
Why is it the drink? It's always the drink. Like, if something goes wrong with the drink that you just paid however much, $7 for.
Literally.
Or you go so out of your way to get, or whatever it is, and something doesn't go right, that is the highest level of mom rage for me. I just
risked the happiness of this last day of the trip and fought with my husband over this freaking $7 drink, and you have the audacity to make it wrong?
No, it's so bad. It's obviously, like, happens. Like, I get that sometimes they make the drinks wrong. I truly get that. But in the moment, I'm like, I'm going to take that teenager, and I'm going to hurl this drink
over this counter.
Hurl this drink at them.
Yep.
I don't give a crap. Like,
I'll get banned from this Fred Meyer. I don't care.
Outside of my moving vehicle at some random bystander's car. I don't care. Like,
it's so true. And like now looking back, I'm like, gosh, I blew it out of proportion. But in the moment,
yeah, but it's not about the drink. That's like the point. It's not about the drink.
Yeah. Did I tell you how my dad like was parked next to us and like waving at me while I was having like a temper tantrum in the car?
No. You're like
no. So long story short, Booker's first nap of the like second day did not go well, and it was Father's Day, and so the girls like made all the husbands like this really nice breakfast, and of course once I'm done with Booker, because it was a hard like put down, I get out there, breakfast is picked up, everybody's packing up their trailers, and I eat my cold breakfast alone at the picnic table by myself. Yeah. And that's when you put your sunglasses on as a mom and you just cry because of course you're eating a cold breakfast again by yourself.
Yeah.
What's new? And then everything else from there just went wrong. And we had a miscommunication, and I raged war with Jake because I already ordered my Starbucks drink. I'm like, turn around and go get it. Like, I don't care that everyone's going to be waiting on us at ice cream, which was the thing that I wanted to do. I don't care. Get me my drink.
Yeah.
Whatever. They made it wrong. I had to come back out, go back in, change my tampon, come back out, forgot my banana bread, went back in, had to get it. It was cold. Like, it was just this whole, I was just, you know, when you like are like, oh, I'm about to boil over. No, I did boil over.
Yeah.
And so then we go to the ice cream place. Everyone's waiting on us. And Jake's like, also, I'm like in the passenger seat, like 2000s teenage movie looking out the like window crying.
Ignoring
like,
your husband.
yeah, ignoring him, like crying in silence. And
like he's so silent because you don't want him looking at you, but also he better know that I'm upset right now.
Look at me. You're like,
if I do glance
squeezing
over,
a tear out of the eye that he can see. Yeah. And I'm like, the last thing you want to do when you're that angry is eat. And it was
no, because then you're vulnerable. Like, then they're gonna say something like, "See, you just needed some food in ya." And part of that's true, but also
that's why spouses are the number one suspect in murders.
I'm crying.
No, literally in the 5-minute car ride, Jake asked me about 4 times, "Aren't you gonna eat your banana bread?" I'm like, you will die today.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a wish to meet Jesus? Because I can make it come true. So then we get to the ice cream place, and I'm starving because I really didn't eat breakfast. I'm like, I need to eat my banana bread, but it has to be in like solitude.
By myself.
Yeah. And drink my drink that's wrong because I need coffee too. And I'm like, can you just take Booker inside? He goes, you want me to get you an ice cream? I'm like, no,
I don't even want ice cream.
just leave me alone. And so I guess my niece was asleep in the car, in my brother's car. And so my dad offered to like stay in the car with her while she slept. And they were parked like a couple parking spots away from us, but like there was no cars in between. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat going, punching the dash, and just like, I took my banana bread out, took a bite, it was cold. I threw it against the dash, and I was like,
Your dad's like,
my dad's texting me, sis, I'm parked right next to you. Can you see me? Sis, I'm waving at you. Can you see me?
you're like,
And I'm looking at my phone and I'm going, this is going through the windshield. And then we get inside and I'm thinking, hopefully he has enough tact. I know this is such a long life update. I'm almost done.
no, I'm looking just to make sure it's recording because I have
Okay,
PTSD.
okay.
I'm not looking at time or anything.
So then we get in the place and I'm like, I need to pout for a little bit longer. I'm literally wearing my sunglasses inside. Could not care less. I sit in the corner by
In
myself.
the cheerful ice cream.
Yeah.
place.
And I'm like, I just need to pout for a couple more minutes. I choked down my banana bread. My dad comes in 5 minutes after I went in. He goes, sis, did you see me waving at you? I'm like, trying so hard to like be in a good mood.
Yeah.
And like, I literally outed myself. I was like, no, I was too busy throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
And Jake kind of like looks at me and I'm like, don't even start. It's about you. Like,
Yeah.
and then like a couple minutes go by. He goes, do you want me to get you some ice cream? No, I don't even want ice cream. 5 more minutes go by. Do you want me to get you some ice cream? Yeah, I want ice cream.
Yeah.
Everybody's ice cream looks really good.
Could you actually
was
please
my
go get
idea.
me some butterscotch ice cream?
Yeah. And then we get in there. He's like, do you want saltwater taffy too? No. Do you want saltwater taffy? Yeah, I just want a couple pieces. All in all, it was a good trip.
Yeah. No,
Very
you have
high
to just talk
highs
about the funny
and very low lows.
of life.
Yeah. And I would like Snapchat you like every couple hours on my trek to the bathrooms.
No,
And I'd be like,
Melissa's
I have to update you. I'm gonna
Melissa's
kill
like,
someone.
yeah, Snapchatting me, which by the way, I'm getting them like literally 13 hours later because there's like service, but like not
one every
really.
7
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, one every 7 minutes. And she's either like, that was the best day of my whole life. Here's the pictures of my beautiful, wonderful, happiest that could ever be family. I love them so much. Being a mom is glorious. I love everything about my boys. Or quite the opposite. And I'm like, she gets home, I'm like, so which was it?
Yeah,
Like,
literally raging on like my husband.
I'm like, I'm gonna need a review, but like
realistic.
a rating, like,
Yeah.
because you can't say it was really good and then really bad. I'm like, overall, like,
Yeah. What did I rate it? Like a 7 out of 10?
no, you didn't rate. You were like, I'm not giving it a rating.
Oh, I would say it's like a 7 out of 10. High highs, low lows.
Yeah,
And
more high highs than low lows, but the low lows is what
We're
sticks
low.
with you.
Yeah, yeah. So that's my life update. Camping was a success.
Good.
I was just telling Jake I'm actually really excited to go camping in August.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you have it like down too.
Yeah. And now I understand that even though everything doesn't go perfect the exact second that I expected it to, it will be okay. And
Yeah.
I will not die. Although it feels like I will.
There
I
you
just
go.
needed a chill pill. But I didn't pack those. So
It's all right. Anything else, or should we get into it?
I should shut up. Do you have any life updates?
Oh, yeah, that's what that was.
Literally.
It
It needed to be said.
I don't really have any life updates.
How's your garden? I haven't heard an update on the garden in a while.
I think I gave you an update on the garden this morning.
Well, yeah, but before that.
Oh, my garden's doing good. However, it's been really hot, and so they really need water. But also, I haven't been watering them as much as I should because it's not nice to be outside. So the garden's doing good, but it could be doing better. There's also some stuff that's like my cilantro is like growing out of control.
Ooh, I'll take some of that.
Yeah, but it's like so bad that it doesn't look good. Like it needs,
Like trimmed.
yeah, it needs to be like cut back because it's not thriving. Because I feel like it's just growing straight up, and then one of the branches snaps. Like I need to go out there and clean it. But same thing. I don't really want to be out there when it's a lot nicer to go and do that when it's like 75 than when it's 95.
It's like you almost just have to do it in the morning.
Yeah. But it's doing good overall. And I said when I put in that garden, I'm like, these are either gonna make it on not much effort or they're not going to, and that's fine. I'm like, whatever.
This stuff grows in like the literal wild.
I know.
I know.
But it's going good. I have tomatoes that are coming in. That's fun. Why
Nice.
are tomato plants, why do they smell so strong?
Like
I will like
it's
barely.
not even the tomato too. It's like the stem.
The plant. Yeah, I'll like barely touch it, and like my fingers will smell
You
for
have to like wash your hands. It's like sticky almost.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
weird? Kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Anyways, garden's good. I'm trying to think of anything else. Coast is not sleeping very good.
He had his first pool day
Yeah, first pool day.
and his first birthday party,
Not his first birthday party.
but went to his first
Went
birthday party.
to a first birthday party. Yeah. Life's been fun. And he's like not sleeping great, but he's been being like so easy when he's awake. That like
That's good.
for the most part it's like
Not evens out, but
it's like so much easier now than it was months ago. I feel like months ago he just wanted to move so bad and he couldn't. And now that he can move, I'm like he's into everything and it's so fun and so easy. And
yeah, you're like
that
rip my
part of
cabinet
it is
apart, I don't
easy.
care.
yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
I feel like he's gonna walk like literally any day. I feel like you're gonna Snapchat me and be like, he's walking.
I know. He'll stand for like a couple of seconds. And the other day he took like a step from our couch to our coffee table. But it's like one step. And he's done it
it's like,
once. I know.
that's
He's like kind of
exciting.
getting there. I don't think he's going to start doing it tomorrow. But yeah.
Is he like saying any, like mumbling any words or anything yet?
Not really. He'll like say dad a little bit. But he's not saying it like he doesn't know. Anymore says la 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 da la la da da. Like just
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Is he getting better with like the bye and the clapping and stuff?
Kind of. He'll clap if you start him. If you clap his hands and then you clap and then you stop clapping his hands, he'll do it for like a few more. But he won't really clap. And kind of same thing. No, he doesn't really actually wave bye at all. But I can see that he like
trying to get it.
he almost is like he'll start moving his fingers like he almost is like starting to get it, but just not quite. What about Booker?
Those are both really exciting things. That's why I'm like, is he doing it?
I know. No, not really, but he'll do it in the next month or whatever, I'm sure.
That's so exciting. Because then it's like, they're starting to like interact with life.
Yeah.
You know, like they think something's funny, they like clap. And you're like,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
I know. Yeah.
Like they start to laugh when they actually think things are funny now. And it's like,
What were we doing? We were playing with that whoopee cushion.
oh my gosh, that video is so
I got
funny.
Chris a whoopee cushion for Father's Day just as like a gag gift or whatever. And we were playing with it with Coast the other day, and he thought that was like the funniest
We'll have to do
thing
it before we
ever.
leave.
Yeah, he thinks that's just so funny.
I bet it'll scare the crap out of Booker.
We were trying to do it today, or was it yesterday? And he didn't like it.
Mm.
It was just random that he liked it, but yeah.
Better perform today, Coast.
I know.
I want to see it.
Literally. Anyways, that's about it. We don't have anything big going on. I like how we're not gonna mumble and that we're probably literally 30 minutes in.
Yeah. Should we get into it?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna move this way back here so we're passing the phone back and
Oh
forth.
yeah, we're playing past the phone today.
That's the last thing we need. Honestly.
I'll lose my mind.
Yeah, Kylie will actually crack
like,
in half.
I'm moving out of the house.
Yeah. As like earlier
not
today, she's like,
cleaning that up.
I'm selling my house. I'm selling all my belongings. I'm going to light the house on fire, actually, just claim the insurance and start over.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go first. I think you have 5 points and I have 4, right?
I have 4.
Oh, okay. Well, you can
But
still go
I might
first.
come up with another one on the fly.
I
probably
might
not.
too. Yeah.
Okay. What is our topic?
Things
we wish we
knew before
knew
getting
before.
married / advice for getting married young.
Yeah. Okay. My first one, I'm excited to talk about it again.
What?
Because it was saucy the first time, and it'll be
Uh-oh.
saucy again, baby.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I know, I shared my notes with you this time. Something I wish I knew before getting married is, oh my gosh,
Clear your throat. Let's.
how important sex is. And let's not be shrewd, okay? I would say we're all married, but I mean, Kylie and I are married, so we can talk about sex and you're just listening. Yeah, sex I feel like is so important in a marriage for so many different reasons. And I don't want to ruffle feathers, but I'm me, so I probably will. I don't mean how.
There we go.
Yeah. I don't mean sex is important in a relationship. That is not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not saying that it's not, whatever. I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
I am just specifically and only talking about how important sex is in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, it is completely different when you're dating versus when you're married.
I think everything is completely different when
And
you're dating versus when you're married, and I don't know how to describe that, but
No,
it
it's-
definitely is.
It's something changes.
Yeah.
And, like, really nothing changes, but, like, something changes.
Yeah.
The main reason I think it's super important, obviously, is, like, the connection of it. But I know, like, we talked about last time where we were, like, the best and easiest way to end an argument, because when you're married, all you really argue about are small, silly, stupid things that you look back and you're like, hopefully, yeah. I mean, that's, like, the majority of your arguments. You're like, you didn't put the silverware away right when you unloaded the dishwasher and blah, 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 and it just, like, you blow up over the smallest thing. And so, honestly, a lot of times, Jake and I don't do this as much as we should, but we always say the best way to end an argument is to just get naked. Because, like, what are you going to argue with?
He's like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, he's like, let's give you a once over. And he's like, all right, I don't even remember what we're arguing about. You know, like, and then you end up just laughing. Because you're just like, that just breaks the cycle of, like, I'm mad. You did this wrong. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe you said that. How do you not agree with me? Oh, my gosh. That was the... Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you get so deep into an argument.
It's like you're not arguing about what you're even arguing about.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite thing to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, then you get naked and you're like, okay, that was so silly. It, like, breaks you out of that, like, tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And then you just, like, giggle and laugh at each other. And maybe you have sex, maybe you don't. But, like,
it breaks the cycle.
Yeah, it just, like, breaks you out of that argument. But I also like, there's obviously has many different purposes. But communication,
that's
is,
a big
I feel
one.
like, a huge thing. And I didn't really have this on my points the last time we talked about it, but, like, as I talked about it, it, like, kind of evolved in my brain that, like, it's more than just, like, oh, communication. It's like, well, no, how are you going to bring up, like, hey, I really don't like the way that, you know, your mom talks to me this way, blah, blah, blah. That's a really awkward topic. Or I don't like this or that. Like, whatever awkward topic you, like, have to bring up with your spouse, because you're not going to not bring it up, and then what's the point of being married? You know what I mean? You're just going to have this issue that festers. No, you're going to talk about it, but it's awkward sometimes. If you can tell your man, no, not there, do it there.
Yeah.
Or not slow there, do it fast there. Or touch it
The
opposite
opposite
this
or whatever.
or do it like that.
Yeah.
That is so uncomfortable for some reason. I don't know if guys feel the same way, but that is so awkward because, like, you don't want to, like, insult, like, their manlyhood and tell them they're doing it wrong. But you also are like, okay, well, how long am I going to sit here and pretend this feels good before I say something?
It's, like, very vulnerable.
It is.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you can tell your man, like, how to do it, you can tell him that your mother-in-law is driving you crazy. Or, you know, like, it just helps you practice communication, because I feel like it's easier to not say that, like, something's bothering you, like, in everyday life, than to not say it in bed. Because what, are you going to just have crappy sex for the rest of your life? No, like, you're going to eventually say it. I feel like it's easier to say that than it is to say, your mom's driving me crazy, you know?
I feel like it's harder because it's more awkward. But
You
then
think?
it makes the other thing easier.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
you
say
were saying.
I'd be more motivated to have good sex than to solve a problem with like
Yeah.
parents or something like that.
I guess
So it
that's
just
true.
like forces you to like get those awkward communication skills.
Yeah, I get what you're
about
saying.
topics
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And it also like I feel like makes you so good at like confrontation too. Like
Yeah.
you practice so many skills like that. And also it's like
I think it's also like learning how to put someone else before yourself.
yes, that's
big
what I was trying to
time,
think
too.
of. Yeah. It helps you like be selfless
Mhm.
on such a small scale, but like it translates into like such bigger things,
Mhm.
which I feel like is another thing that's like one of my other points. But sticking to the sex part of it, it's like connecting with like your husband physically is like so important, I think. And I think I said this last time, that like some of the best marriage advice I ever received was that like obviously like take this with a grain of salt and it's not going to sound as good as what I'm meaning, but like let me just say the phrase and then I'll explain. But
She's like, hold on.
let me preface, okay? Sometimes as a wife, the last thing you want to do is have sex with your husband, but like you will never regret like thinking that that's probably the first thing that your husband wants to do.
Mhm.
And I say that because as women, I think we're a little bit more complex than men. And there's many different ways that we like very easily can show our love and affection and appreciation. And men obviously are capable of showing it other ways, but like their main way of showing those things to you is like sex. Like they're very physical people. Men need sex. Like that's just, and like I say it to the point of like a husband needs sex from his wife. Like that's so important. So like there are times where I'm like, like I could be making dinner, I could be cleaning this, I could be doing that, and it's like I have to force myself to be like, no, those things do not matter as much as like connecting with my husband on this like such deep physical level. And also knowing that like he got me flowers, he rubbed my neck, he told me I was beautiful, he played with my hair, he rubbed my back. Like these are all the ways that like I need to be shown love. And like whether you like it or not, that's going to be the best way that you can show your man like love, because men just appreciate that physical aspect more than I think women do.
Yeah.
Which I think was a good piece of advice that when she told it to me, I was like, okay, no.
I think that's a good point, because I think that advice like that is, depending on who you are, really hard to take. Like I wouldn't have liked if someone told me that.
Yeah, I didn't
either.
like it when I heard it.
Yeah. And so I think that this is a good place to say it, because you're not saying it to someone directly.
Yeah.
You know? Because I think that is hard, and then it's like it feels very personal.
It's a very touchy subject.
When in reality, it's like, it's not personal. It's just a general rule of thumb.
Yeah.
And it's probably not true for 100% of people,
Right. But people also have a really hard time admitting that men are like very physical people. Like,
yeah.
which I'm sorry, that's true. That's how God made them. Like they're physical people. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's when it gets taken out of context or taken too far that there's something wrong with it.
Or it's not a good marriage, or it's not a good guy, or it's like there's some other
and like
thing
I
going
am
on.
by no means saying like I don't want to have sex, I don't want to do it, but I'm just gonna make myself anyway.
No,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like my mind is somewhere else and I need to be like, okay,
Slow down.
that's not the priority. The priority is like my connection with my husband.
Yeah.
And sorry,
Like if there's something actually going on, that's not.
yeah, that's the best way
different.
to connect with your spouse. Like that's why God created sex for marriage. Like that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But honestly, in a lot of ways, in a marriage, sex fixes a lot of small things.
Yeah.
But that would be like my biggest and my first,
Most important one that you think?
I think.
Okay. My turn?
Yeah.
It's the same note. You can leave it on yours.
It is?
Yeah. I added to it
Oh,
later.
I'm just stupid. It's not showing up on mine. That's why I didn't see it.
That's okay. Thanks. Okay, my first one is being on the same page with finances.
Yeah.
And I don't have that much to say. Melissa just really dove in on the sex thing, but
What can I say? I like talking about sex,
she does.
baby.
Yeah, she likes to get controversial with it. I just think finances are a really, really important thing, and I think that that's where a lot of fights, and I think that's where a lot of divorce comes from.
I think that's like the number one
too.
reason for divorce is finances.
Yeah, or at least top 3, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't really have that much to say about it. I think just being on the same page.
Like in what way?
With whatever. I think that if you are people that are going to go into debt, I think that's something that both of you guys should be good with. If that's something you're not going to do, I think that people that are married should have shared accounts on everything.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's probably controversial too, but that's fine because that's what
all one money, all one account.
Yeah, all
one total.
Yeah, it's not like your money versus my money. It's our money.
Especially if you have a stay-at-home
spouse. Yeah, no matter what, but I think especially if you are stay-at-home, mom or wife or whatever. I just think whatever stance you're going to take on it, honestly, even if you weren't going to share accounts, I don't think that's good. But if both of you are on the same page and like good with that, okay. That's better than one of you wanting one thing and one of you wanting the other. You know what I mean? I think it should just be one. But I think if you both have really strong feelings on that, then
like agree on what you like to spend your money on and like
what you're going to prioritize.
In cash, or are you going to finance them? Or are you going to
whatever it is? Yeah. And I don't think there's any. I was going to say I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do it, but I probably do think that there's a right and wrong way to do.
Do you think that it's like more important for the man to like take the lead on money?
I think in general, yeah, but I also think that there's like for us, Chris will definitely manage our money in the big picture, but I feel like I manage our money a lot more on like a day-to-day thing. If that makes sense. Like I'll run our budget. I do anything like that. I don't want to say I don't know anything about our investments because I do, but Chris is the one that communicates with our investor guy. He's the one that has the logins written down. Like, you know what I mean? Not that I can't log into that kind of thing, but he's the one that handles more of that.
Yeah.
But I think I probably handle more of like the day-to-day money stuff. That's how we do it. And I think that's good, but
yeah,
I think that there could also be a guy that is really, really unorganized and a wife that's really organized, and that would be fine, too. I think so. I don't know.
I think women are a lot better at like the day to day, and men are a lot better at the bigger picture type stuff. Just I think in general in a marriage, but especially with finances.
Yeah, that would be my take on it, but I don't have like a super hard opinion on it. I guess
absolutely no financial self control.
Yeah,
so we are more of like on that stricter traditional side. We're like. We agree on the budget, but Jake makes the budget. He allots the money. He does the bills. He does the investments, everything. Yeah. Basically, we agree on it, but he just goes, this is how much you can spend on this, this, and this.
It's like you agree on it once, and then that's what it is.
I know what it is, and I go spend all the money.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I'm like, I cannot.
I know, you get stressed.
I will literally get like a rash. Yeah. Because I cannot, and that's a childhood thing. But I just like physically cannot discuss money. Like he has to like mentally prepare me 24 hours ahead of time to like have a money discussion.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, are we going under? Are we broke? And he's like, no, I just was going to see if you're fine saving an extra couple $100 this month. And I'm like, okay. Whew, not living in a box. Us who's perfectly fine and stable.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like that, but the opposite. I feel like I feel the same as you, but because I feel that way, then I want to like keep tabs on everything really closely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
You're like, I don't want to know because it's going to freak me out. And I'm like, I need to know or I'm gonna.
Yeah, I can't even check the bank accounts because I just don't even want to see it.
I'll check our bank account. Before I had Coast, I would check our bank account. I'm not even kidding, like 6 times a day.
Ugh.
After every purchase, like seeing
Jake
what's
and I
in
have
there.
been married for almost 4 years and I've checked it maybe 6 times in general.
No, I check it literally all the time. Well, actually, now that I have a baby, I don't because I just don't have time to just, like,
you're like, I don't. That's the last
scroll
thing
through
my
apps. Yeah. But I still probably check our bank account like probably once a day, or at least like every other day. But I don't like look through it. I just like gotta. I just gotta
gander.
Do my daily. Yeah, click on.
Just
the
make
app,
sure nobody stole our money.
Yeah, make sure things are on the up and up. Yeah. Anyways, I just think whatever you and your husband want to agree with, I could get into that too, I guess, but that's not really my point. My point is just like whatever the two of you agree on to be on the same page and agree on it.
Yeah.
I guess that's the key. Yeah.
I don't know if this is either one of our points. I don't think so. But how do you feel about like I think you and I like I think on paper we have a traditional marriage. Mm-hmm. But I think like in reality, you and I aren't like super traditional wives, but we have a traditional marriage. Like it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But like, how do you feel about like the idea that the man is like the head of the household? He's the leader of the household, like spiritually, financially, emotionally, like he's like the leader of the household. And like, let's just pull out the good old favorite Bible verse of wives submitting to their husbands and husbands dying for their wives. Like, I always think about that verse, like, at least once a week, where I'm like, am I being a good, like, wife of, like, what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, like, whatever. Because I think that is, like, a very, very hard thing for, I would say, girls our age, but, like, especially women, like, nowadays, to, like, let a husband lead the family, lead the house, lead their life, kind of.
I think I agree with that. I think it's our version of that in our house would probably be similar to the finances.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say that Chris leads our family in the big things. Chris is not really leading us on the little tiny little everyday life things.
I would
not
say
that he's not leading, but I'm taking charge on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm the one that deals with Coast's schedule and sets it. I'm the one that, you know what I mean?
Which is, like, more traditionally, like,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
like, more traditional roles.
Kind of traditional, but I probably lay down the law in the house.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there came to, like, a sticky situation where you guys disagreed, would you, at the end of the day, be like, let him have it because, like, he's quote unquote, like, the leader of the house?
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, because I would say, like, not trying to pat myself on the back or anything, because it's not like it's easy, but, like, Jake and I kind of have this understanding that, like, my roles and my jobs are to be respected by him, and by that means if we disagree on something that falls into my category of responsibilities, that I take point on it. Like, if
you're gonna have to dumb that down for me a lot.
So, like, my roles, my responsibilities, like, my traditional, like, roles in our marriage are, like, the baby, the house, the small, like, day-to-day life things. Like, I don't expect him to know that our friend's kid's second birthday is next weekend and we need to get a gift and what she's into and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to know any of that. I expect the day before to say, hey, we're doing this. And you go, okay.
Sign the card.
Yeah, sign the card.
Yeah.
So those are, like, my roles.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a very close friend whose daughter's first birthday is coming up. And he's very invested in her and her life. He loves this little girl. He really cares about what we give her. I know, like, the mom is my close friend. I know her and the baby a lot better. And, like, not that we got into an argument about it, but we disagreed on what to get her. And I was like, okay, well, this is my territory.
Yeah.
Like, not like I'm going to overpower you, but, like, I kind of get, like, the more powerful vote. And I'm like, okay, I understand that, but this is what we're going to do. Like, we're going to get this ball pit because I think that this is better. And I know what's in her house. I know this will fit. I know she needs big, like, blah, 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 whatever.
We've talked about it.
He doesn't agree with me, but he goes, that's your territory. I'm going to let you have it. Same with, like, if I don't agree on some financial thing or whatever, like, we argue our points, and at the end of the day, if we still don't agree, it's like, okay, well, that's your territory, so you can have it. And I just swallow my pride, and I'm like, all right, well, because we have an agreement that, like, that is your job in our life, and so I expect you to know it better, so I'm going to just have this automatic amount of trust for you that you know that job better, so when it does come down to those situations, I can just fold and just trust that that's your territory, so you better know it, kind of thing. Like, if I suggest something about Booker's schedule, I don't expect a whole lot of pushback. I expect him to go, all right, well, I respect that that's your territory.
Yeah. Are you asking if we're the same?
Yeah.
That's how we
like,
are?
how do you feel about that? Because I think a lot of women will probably don't like
say
that
no
as traditional.
I think that I think I'm going to say the same thing as what I just said. I think, I agree with that in general. And I'd say that's kind of how we do things. I'm trying to think of, like, stuff that's completely, like, Chris's territory, because I feel like I feel like I'm involved in a lot of stuff. I'm like his business, literally his business. And I'm like, I call the shots.
Yeah.
No, like, I really don't. But I would have opinions even about that. But obviously that would be him. But I feel like that's too obvious of an example. I don't know. If you were going to say, like, finances or stuff, I think that I would say, yeah, that's your territory. I'm just going to do whatever you think. But it would depend on how strong I would feel about something too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and it's not, like, totally 100% black and white.
Totally.
But I also kind of like, obviously when I'm the one that has to give, it doesn't feel good. But when he's the one giving, it makes me understand enough to, like, be willing to give. Yeah. Because it's like, it's not that, oh, I know better and I'm better than you. No, it's like, we agreed to have respect for each other's roles in our marriage, and this is that playing out. Like, but I think that, like, having those traditional roles, I personally think that they're best and they work the best, and it, like, makes things mesh the best to whatever degree works for your house. But I think it's hard. I think having, like, a traditional role is so much harder.
I think that
than having like a modern day role.
I think me and Chris are so similar that like even when you ask me these things, I'm like,
see, and that's Jake and I are very, very like opposite. Like,
I'm
we
like,
butt heads, I think, a lot more than you guys do.
I can't think of like a scenario that we would even like disagree on something with.
But you guys are also very like tepid mannered. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
where Jake and I are very like hot headed.
Yeah, you're more fiery.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I would say we argue a lot, but it's like, it's not like ill-hearted. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like, you did too much. You did the pasta like that. That's not how I do pasta. And we like get in a little tiff, and then we like laugh it off.
Yeah,
it's like, but I would say that we are very like hot-headed and fiery, and like we get into it a lot, but it's never like
it's over small things.
It's all like small things, and we bounce back so easy.
Yeah, I think Chris and I are just super similar on stuff. So even when you ask me that kind of stuff, I'm like, I don't really know, because I'm like,
and sometimes you tell me like
for 4 years, and I'm like, I feel like we've never had like a disagreement on like finances or something like that. Like I feel like we're just both.
You'll like tell me like like something you disagreed with about or whatever, and I'm like, I'm ready, and you're like, yeah, I just didn't really agree. And I'm like, and like
yeah,
because it's just like so not how it is with us, but
yeah, it's hard for me to even like think about that kind of stuff. Not that we like never disagree, but I just feel like it's like.
But that works for you guys.
Really, we're both really
very similar, like
very similar, and very similar. Like, I like the finance thing. I'm just using that as an example because it's such a measurable thing. It doesn't have to be finances, but that's just a really measurable thing. I really like talking about finances, so I feel like if there was something that we disagreed with, we'd dissect it so hard, and like would come to an agreement with it. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be like, oh, I'm putting my foot down on that, and then because I feel like I would get to the point of like, we would get to an agreement because I like and it's genuinely like I kind of like talking about that kind of thing. I know you do. And he likes talking about that kind of thing, so we would just talk about that for fun, or we already did talk about whatever the topic is for fun 2 months ago. And
you're just like continuing.
And like now we're crossing this bridge, and we already like kind of had that conversation because I feel like we like to talk about the same things a lot. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. I feel like Jake and I have to have like how we said, like predetermined parameters, because him and I are both so hard-headed. We will dig our heels in the sand so bad.
I think me and Chris are both really even-keeled, but especially Chris even. Yeah. Chris is very like...
do you ever think, like, not in a weird way, obviously, and I've literally only thought about this maybe a handful of times, but I always kind of like, when you and I are like, you know, just venting to each other about like husbands or whatever, I'm like, gosh, I could never be married to Chris. Like, he could never be married to me. I could never be married to him. Like, you and Jake, you guys, like, it just would never work.
I think I could never be married to Melissa.
I could not be married to you either.
I could not be Jake in this situation.
I know. I do think that more often. I'm like, I could not be Chris.
I never think about, I couldn't be married to Jake. I think I couldn't be married to Melissa.
Yeah, that's better. Jake came up with such a good podcast idea.
What?
He's like, in one episode, like maybe it's like 2 25-minute segments that are just like one
together.
Episode. He's like, you should interview Chris and Kylie should interview me.
Oh, that would be fun.
Wouldn't that be so fun? That would be hilarious. We've got to do that.
I want to do a podcast with all 4 of us. Sorry, I'm so scared. Can you see that by just glancing over?
I can see it at the corner of my eye. Okay. So I keep looking at it.
What were we saying? Oh, I want to have
interviewing each other.
I want to have the boys on, like all 4 of us, so bad someday.
Okay, who would watch our children?
No, I know, that's why we can't. We also don't have 4 mics.
Yeah, we'd have to have like Mac. Actually, I could not imagine Mac wrangling both babies.
Well, maybe when they're older or something,
or like Christina or something.
Yeah,
or
maybe
both of them.
Yeah, maybe when they're older and they're a little more easy or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, next point.
You want to move on? Okay.
Yeah, we need to get quicker.
I'm gonna. Well, this one's pretty easy, so I'll just gloss over it. I was gonna say I'll cut it out, but I personally, from personal experience, think that each spouse should handle their own family, like to an extent. Like there are times where like I've butt heads with my family's Italian, we butt heads a lot, but I'll like butt heads with my dad or whatever, and like Jake will step in and like have my back, but I'm still always like the point person for my family. Like, and same thing, like I've had his back with his family, but like he's always the face of confrontation with his family.
He's the deliverer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys agree
Or you're
behind
the
closed
deliverer.
doors, and it's like he needs to be the one to say it to his family.
Yeah.
I need one to say it to my family, but you're always there to have each other's backs.
Yeah.
And I say that because, and like my dad's even said this to me because him and Jake have like butt heads a couple times before. And he said this to me. He's like, I will always love my child. Like, you are my child, and I will
Right.
always love you. You, no matter what you do, you will always be my child. I'll always love you.
Yeah.
So it is so much easier for me to hold a grudge against Jake because he's not my child.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he loves him, and like they're like besties now. But like, it's
a lot easier to dislike.
It's a lot
him.
easier to just have an issue with your child and blame the spouse. Because like you're not gonna blame your kid. Imagine blaming Coast. Like you know you're gonna blame his wife. Like, so my dad's always like said, always handle our family. Like, you need to handle our family. Jake needs to handle his family because it is all too easy for in-laws to start holding a grudge against the spouse.
Yeah.
And then it just creates a divide, and there's nothing like arguing with your spouse about their family. Like, it's just the worst. So my advice is handle your own family. Like, you know how to talk to them best. You know how to handle them best. You know how to argue with them best. You know how to confront them best. Like,
and they're not going to hate you for it.
They're not going to
like
hate you. Like, that's your
spouse.
family, hopefully. You know, it's like, but I genuinely think that that's really, really, really good advice.
Yeah, I think that's great. Okay. Anything else on it, or is that your short version of it?
No, that's my short version.
You went off of it.
Oh. Yeah, not much to, I think that one's
Oh my
pretty.
gosh, I'm pinned on your texts. Wow. Okay. My next one this is a good, short, quick one too, is growing up together.
Oh, yeah.
This is kind of more of like getting married young advice.
I forgot we talked about that.
Things.
Such a good one.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Growing up together instead of, what you said last week?
It was, you can do two things when you get married. You can either get married when you're older and you have like separate lives and everything, and you can try to grow together.
Or grow up together.
Or you can get married young and grow up together. Like, either way, it's hard, but you're either trying to mesh two lives or figure out who you are together.
Yeah, which I only know the one.
Right,
but
same.
I feel like that's easier.
Well, I feel like I had a little taste of both. Like, I had a little bit of a life. Jake was always in it, but I had a life before him.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like an adult-ish.
Yeah,
life.
I feel like I didn't really have an adult life.
I still agree
Chris.
with you, though. I still think that growing up together has its challenges, but I would personally rather do that than try to just knowing how I am. Like, I would not be able to mesh with someone at 30.
Hard to like break your habits and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that much more to say about that. Do you?
Not really.
Growing up together.
Because, I mean, at 30, sure, you don't have to worry about what's my career, what's our income, what's housing, what's, you know, whatever. But I would honestly rather worry about that than have to, like, change how I load the dishwasher or, like, something, you know?
Which sounds stupid, but
it's the little things that matter so much
yeah,
more.
there's so many things that Chris and I just do the same. And it's like we never really, like...
Or you do it because that's just how one of you did it.
Right, that's
and then
what
you
I
just
mean.
always do it
Yeah,
that way.
like there was never, like, a discussion of, like, oh, this is how I've been doing this for however long. It's like, oh, yeah, we both just...
You never had the time to, like, learn how to do it.
Yeah, we both
just
just do it this way.
together.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay.
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Okay, my next point is... Oh, we can just stay on this because it has both of ours.
Okay.
How important it is to be able to swallow your pride. My least favorite thing. I hate agreeing. I hate, like, what's it called? Not agreeing.
Compromising?
I hate compromising. I hate it. It's my least favorite thing. That is, like, one of my least favorite things about marriage is how much you have to compromise. And, like, obviously it's, like, worth it in the end. But I hate it. I want things my way, how I want them, when I want them.
Yeah, right now.
And I always think that I'm right. But one thing that's been a very hard learned lesson for me in marriage is I would rather be happy with my husband than be right. So there are times in an argument where I really think that I'm right, and I go, would I rather argue or would I rather...
Just be done with this.
Yeah, like, do I want to argue and be right, or do I want to be happy and be wrong?
Yeah.
Like... And sometimes I fight my point, but sometimes, and majority of the times, it's easier to just go, you know what, I don't even care anymore. I would rather make up and be happy than be right. Like,
yeah.
But obviously it's taken some years to get there.
Well, and it's also like, that's the same thing. It's like on these small little, like, trivial things that literally don't matter.
Do I really need to be right about how he makes the bed wrong?
Yeah.
Or can I just
let it go.
Yeah, let it
Don't
go.
look
Or
at
like
the bed for the rest
just
of
don't
the
look
day.
at the bed, or
Yeah.
just straighten it out a little bit later. Like it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. Nice, short, and sweet.
I know. Look at us being concise.
We're going through them now because we have to.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good one. I put this on here. I don't know if this is advice. This is advice for myself, but it's trying to remember that they're probably picking up just as much slack as you are.
Oof. That
Humbling.
is a good one.
Like when you're like picking up his dirty socks or whatever, it's like, okay, I'm sure at some point today he's going to do something for me that I don't even know about. I'm never going to know because he's never going to know that I picked up the socks.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just going to magically find their way into the laundry basket.
You're trying to tell me something.
I'm trying to tell myself something. Yeah, that's what I try and remember. So you better be doing that, Chris.
Like that. Yeah, you better be thinking
I'm
about
saying it's stuff that,
all the slack I pick up of yours.
No, I feel like it's stuff that you just wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a really, really good point. I like that one a lot.
Thanks. I don't need to, say that much about it. I feel like it's to the point, but yeah.
I'm going to actually ditch my last one for something that just made me think of.
Okay.
Deal. Which I was just talking to Jake about the other day. How hard it is to not keep score. That just made me think of it. Because it's like, how many times a day do I go, really? You're going to sit on the couch on your phone while I'm sitting making dinner or whatever? And I'm like, okay, but I also rotted for an hour. Like
that's kind
of
like what I was saying. Like, and you won't even know.
Yeah.
And you're not going to think about like when you are sitting there taking a break or whatever, you're not thinking like, oh, I'm taking my break, right? Like, you're just not thinking. You're just taking your break.
Yeah.
Or you're just picking up the socks. Or you're not thinking about it. Where was I going with this? What was your point?
Oh, not to keep score.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
Basically, just like you don't think of it as like,
you only notice it when they're not doing it.
Yes.
You don't notice it when they are doing it. You only notice the bad. You don't
Jake could just like
good.
do a ton of chores and then sit for 5 minutes, and I'll come downstairs from putting the baby to sleep, and I'm like, "Oh, you have the audacity to sit."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and you're not seeing like what else is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's really important for women too, because I'm going to go ahead and say it. Women are so much more productive and like goal orientated with those little things than men are. Like,
I think I heard something, like some kind of scientific thing that said that women's brains have like multiple things going at once, and a man's brain focuses in on one thing, which is weird because I feel like with like some stuff, Chris is the opposite. Like when he works, he can work on multiple different things at once, where if I was like working, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. But I think not talking about work and just talking about how brain, like the female
overall
versus male brain works, I think that men are better at like focusing in on a task, where women are better at like doing multiple things.
Which I would even go as far to say is like men probably complete tasks better than women do.
Maybe.
In the end. Like say my completion rate is 85%, but I'm doing 7 things at once.
Right.
Jake's completion rate is probably 100% because he's doing 1 or 2 things at once.
Yeah, it's like this literally happened to me today. I can't remember how it started, but I was getting ready. Then Chris gave Coast a bath, but she needed a bath today, but I wasn't really thinking who's going to do it right then. And we give him a bath in the bathroom attached to our bedroom. Mm-hmm. I'm getting ready in there. He's like, okay, I'm going to toss him in the bath. I'm like, okay, fine. Then he gets upset in the bath because he gets water on his face. So then he's like upset while I'm getting ready. Mm-hmm. So then Chris takes care of him, takes him into his room, whatever. Put a diaper on him and everything. And I'm like hurrying up to get ready. Then I like come out. The whole house is a mess. I'm like, I can't pick up all of this right now, but there's a cap on the ground. I'm going to pick up this cap because this cap is going to get broken or thrown away. So I pick up the cap to put it next to the thing that it goes on. I'm like, I'm going to have to just clean this up in a second. I'm going to help Chris because now I can hear Coast is upset because he doesn't want to put his diaper on. Then while I'm walking, the dog barks. And I'm like, okay, letting the dog in. And then I realize the dog doesn't have water. And then it's like all of this stuff.
I've seen so many TikToks like that where it's like, I needed to do the laundry. But when I got to the laundry, I noticed this was broken. So I went to go get the screwdriver. Well, when I went at the screwdriver, it was the crap drawer. Well, the crap drawer needs to be organized. Yeah. Oh, in the crap drawer, I found these receipts. Well, the receipts need to be filed. And it's like, your brain just blah, 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 blah. And then you get to the end of the line and you're like, I have a bigger mess than when I started.
I'm still
and
not
no
ready for the
motivation
day.
to do it. Yeah. And also, what did I even start with? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where like men will be like, I need to fix the dishwasher. I'm going to just fix the dishwasher. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, must be nice.
Yeah.
And then we get on them for, how'd you not notice that the trash was overflowing? That's your job. And it's like, well, because he was focused on the one thing. And he goes, well, what do you mean? I just fixed the dishwasher. Like, I can't do everything. And then you're like, why didn't you notice? And it's like this whole cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, that's what I think is so hard about marriage is like men and women are just not created equal for a good reason. But it's also very frustrating when someone just doesn't operate the way that you do. But like biologically, they just don't operate the way that we do.
It's hard to see.
It's like you all bring strengths and weaknesses to the marriage, but it's like, if you could just have my strengths and my weaknesses for like 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually wouldn't work. But
it wouldn't work, but it feels like it would.
It would feel good in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my last one. Do you have another one or is that it?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Which is perfect timing-ish.
I know. Yeah. This is fine. Yeah. Okay, my last one is that it's not 50-50. I don't really know if it's 100% and 100% or if it's 60-40, 70-30.
Changes every day.
I like both analogies, but it's definitely not 50-50. You're either both giving 100% or you're giving 100% together, but it's depending on the day. Someone's going to be able to give 70 and someone's only going to be able to give 30, and then the next day someone's only going to be able to give 20 and the other person is going to have to pick up and do 80 because they don't have capacity.
Math.
Thank you.
I know it's basic math, but on the fly.
Whatever it is, but it's not 50-50.
I think that's where you get into trouble is like you have the mindset that it should be 50-50.
Yeah.
And it should. It should be 50-50.
Yeah, but that's
can't be. Just not realistic.
That's a perfect world, but
because what your 50 looks like is not what their 50 looks like.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes they think that they're giving 50. And you're like, how on earth do you think you're giving 50? I'm giving 80. Yeah. Like, you're 100% only giving 20.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
50 is not good enough.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Yeah. Because I've heard that a lot. Marriage always say, marriage is 50-50.
The point is you're both trying your hardest. That's the point. Yeah. Whatever that means.
Whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to boil it down to just one point, like, it's just like almost like communicate, like because all this is just so
like minor.
Yeah, it's like you say it out loud and you're like, well, duh.
Yeah. I always see people like using an example of like someone walking in the door and like telling their spouse like, I have 40% right now. I'm at 40%, so can you please come in at 60 so that we can get done what needs to get done. Or someone walks in and they're like, I've got 70 today. I had a really good day. Like, let me take on more and you take 30 and get a break or like do whatever you
communicate
need
where
to
you're
do.
both at.
Yeah, like where your capacity is.
Yeah, how, and that's the other thing too is like you're just a team. Mm-hmm. You're a team against, and this I feel like a lot of people have a hard time hearing. I don't know why I've said it to a couple people and they've given me like a face where I'm like, you guys are a team. It's always you and your teammate against the problem,
not against each
other. Mm-hmm. And this is where I get looks. Sometimes the problem is the baby. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but before the baby, it was you. And without your marriage, what's your baby's life going to look like? Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm sorry, but the marriage comes before the baby. Mm-hmm. Like, it just has to. And obviously, it doesn't get to every day, but, like, overall, it just has to. And so
it doesn't on the small scale, but on the big scale.
Yeah, but on the big scale, yeah. Like, if your marriage is suffering.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, this or that, you got to figure it out. But, it even bothers Jake sometimes when I say, like, it's us against the problem, and I'm, like, referencing Booker. Mm-hmm. Booker's not a problem.
No,
but
in the sleep is the problem.
Yeah, the sleep is the problem.
Yeah, or the whatever is the problem, yeah.
The short version, like, the simple version of that is, like, obviously the baby isn't the problem. But the baby is sometimes the problem that you're working against. Yeah. Like, you know, it's, like...
It's the thing you need to overcome or whatever.
Yeah.
Problem isn't a good word for
problem
that
isn't
example.
A good word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the point stands, yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's the struggle or, like, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
I know. I'm excited to go through your clothes.
Oh my gosh, are you going to go through them right now?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can have some girl time.
Ooh, yeah, it's only 6.
Although I feel like the boys probably... It's only 6. Coast needs to go to sleep.
Well, we haven't heard any crying.
Is a one nap kid. I don't know what to do.
King.
I literally...
Well, let's go talk about it.
Okay.
We'll spare you.
Yeah, we'll spare you. We're going to go through clothes.
It might get soppy.
It probably will get soppy. Okay, we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, toodles.
Bye.